Welcome to the big 4-0 of How I Met My Brother pod. 40 episodes, I'm not even that old. I'm only 27. So you know what? Enjoy this episode and, hop right in there. This is How I Met My Brother.
Hello everyone, welcome to the How I Met My Brother podcast. I am seated next to my personable, hardworking, dedicated co-host, Mr. Jacob M. Cody. Jacob, how are you on this lovely Monday evening?
I'm pretty good, and that intro made me tear up a little bit internally. So the tears aren't quite up to my face yet, but inside I'm crying.
Me too. I always cry on the inside, but it's fine.
Yeah. But as a whenever I think of crying, I always think of this famous song that's written by a philosopher, and it goes, "Why can't I cry money instead of tears?"
Is that Biggie? Tupac?
No, it's
Eminem?
some local rapper. I don't know his name, but ever since I heard that, I could never unhear it.
Huh?
Tupac.
Is that Tupac? Is that Big Bigs? You know what makes me think of crying?
What's that?
Is when your heat goes out in your hot water.
Yeah, it happened to me again. Saturday actually, I was taking a shower and it was nice and warm. Mm-hmm. It was a great time. You love just sitting in the shower. And then all of a sudden, it started getting cold. Just slowly decreasing temperature. And I thought, is there a ghost in here? Like, messing with my controls? So I made sure that it was turned all the way hot. And sure enough, there was no ghost. And so it got colder. And I was like, oh, crap. And it was decreasing fast.
Yeah.
It was like it saw a cop. Like, it went from 90 to 20 in 2 seconds. Like, it was going on 395 and saw a police officer sitting there.
Or saw when someone pulled over on the side of the road, side of the highway.
Only if they're
decrease their speed very quickly.
But so anyway, it got colder. So I was done with my shower, so I got out and I was like, oh geez, like maybe I lost. Maybe they came back and stole this tank too. I don't know. So I. It's like, I'm going to turn my heat up and see if it was just a coinky dink or, actually, heat. So I did. Then I just forgot about it for a while. I went on my day, had a busy Saturday, whatever. Forgot to check it again until Sunday morning. I wake up and I looked at my thermostat and I set it for 68, which is higher than I usually do.
Yeah, that's warm for you.
Because I just wanted to see if it worked. Set it for 68 the night before and checked it in the morning. And it was 59. And I was like, oh, well, obviously the heat's not working. And I was like, but you know what? Just in case, I'm going to test the waters, So I turned the shower on, got back in bed for 3 minutes, got back up to let it heat up. It was ice cold, So, yeah, apparently my tank was empty.
Really?
Which I was told my tank's not even back yet. And that what I was told was my tank's not hooked up. And I was put on their tank, as of right now. But apparently I'm on this really skinny tank that apparently loses it really quickly because I lost it. But it was okay. They already replaced it this morning. So I worked until it was replaced, and then I got in the shower and it was warm again. But I did shed a tear and some not so nice words as well on Sunday morning. But yeah.
You have some serious problems around here.
Yeah, that's what you get when you live around here.
Yeah, in the hood. It's
the
tough.
Home street blues is what I call them. Constantly in the blues.
I'm thinking about calling HUD for you, Housing and Urban Development, to try and, light a fire up your landlord's tushies.
Yeah, I was trying to, at first I get really mad at them. And so I try to stick it to them. So I haven't even put my rent check down there yet. It's April 3rd. So what's up? What are they going to do? Take my heat away? How'd it happen? No, I'll probably put that down there tonight. But I did wait. I did wait because I was mad. And then I thought, whatever.
Can't like tenants not pay their rent and not get evicted? Isn't that a thing?
I think for a certain amount of months right now, it is. I think so, but I also know my landlords pretty well, and it's not technically their fault that the old propane company came and stole this.
I do agree with that.
Although if I was really bitter, technically I could sue, probably for my rent amount, because it's illegal to not provide heat to your tenants at any point from I think October until May.
I would do that, probably. I would jump on that.
Nah. I don't want them to hate me.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I want to be liked, And if that means me shivering in my bed, so be it.
Yeah, I respect that.
No, actually, I got an UGG comforter, so I'm pretty warm at night. Just saying. Shout out to UGG.
Just remember, beauty is pain.
Yeah.
Beauty is pain.
Facts.
And happiness is also pain.
Yeah. You want to hear something else that kind of made me cry?
Yeah.
Now that we're on the topic
All of it.
Of cry.
Everything.
So this kind of made me cry, but not really. But I was pulling into work the other day. I think it was Tuesday, I believe, last week. And I was just about to pull into the driveway. And in my rear view, I could see police lights, but they were like far behind. And so I was like, oh, it's not me. So I pull into my work driveway and I start to slow down just to see what this cop is doing. And sure enough, it pulls in behind me.
Oh.
So I'm like, what? So then I pull into my parking spot. And, I've had some history with
the law.
With the law in the past. So
history with the law.
So I was like, I'm not going to get out. I'm not going to, maybe, because at first I was like, maybe he's turning around. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to stay optimistic, So I just roll down my window and he gets out of his car and he's like, you know why I stopped you? And in my head, I'm like, actually, sir, I'm parked in my work parking lot. So, but I didn't say that, but yeah. I was like, no. And he's like, oh, well, that road out there is a 20 miles per hour zone. Oof. And you were going about 40. And I was like, okay, oh man, geez, officer, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that. And he's like, do you work here? And I said, yep, employee of the month actually. And he was like, oh, okay, well, you know what? Just go slower. Keep it. Make sure you're going slow. And I was like, all right, thanks. Thank you so much for your acts of kindness and service today, sir. They won't be forgotten. And he was on his way. But the worst part of it all was my boss was... The way that it is, the driveway goes in, and then there's a little turnoff before you get to the back, is where my boss backs his truck in. So my boss actually had a front row seat to this because he was in his truck as well. Nice. So when I got into the break room, he's like, oh, what was that about? And I was like... I actually said, they have a warrant for my arrest. And he laughed, comedy. Mm-hmm. But then he was like, no, really. And I was like, oh, they just pulled me over and said that I was going too fast. And he just laughed and we went on our day. But I was actually told later that day that by our HR lady, who is his wife, my boss's wife, she was sitting at her desk and her window is right the main road right there. Yeah. And she said that same police officer pulled over like 4 or 5 people on that road today. So she was like, he was probably trying to get that end of month quota filled.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that actually made me, which actually didn't really make sense because like he didn't give me a ticket.
That's what I was thinking.
But I think it's just because I like worked there. I don't know. Maybe because he wasn't state. He was Grafton police. So he was a townie. You know what I mean? So maybe he had respect for my boss. I don't know. Maybe he's like, oh, you know what? You're contributing to our economy here. Yeah. But anyway, it just gave me a throw. But did I ever share that story about being detained?
I don't know. I feel like you have.
I feel like I have too.
I'm not sure.
Well,
I would retell it real quick.
Real quick, long story short. Probably a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
I was
right.
pulled over on the way back from my friend Greg's house, and was arrested. And
that's true.
so the cop pulled me over. I thought I was just speeding. He pulled in front of me, and then I saw 2 more police cars behind me. Gets out of his car with his hand on his gun, says, "Keep your hands on the wheel," but in a much more aggressive way. Comes over to my door, takes me out, puts me on the ground, handcuffs me. I say, "Why?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, we're going to ask the questions now." And I said, "Okay." And then he put me on the back of my car, handcuffed with a spotlight on me. There's about 3 police officers. No, 4. 3 cop cars, but 4 officers. Spotlights on me on the side of the road. It's like 30 degrees out, 25 degrees out.
It was cold.
It was a cold December day, or January maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and they asked me questions. Apparently a kid that matched my description and my car and everything, and a half a mile away from where I was, and everything just worked perfectly for them. They thought they got their guy. But unfortunately, I do not deal cocaine, so... didn't get their guy, but yeah, they questioned me for about 45 minutes and ripped my hat off and checked my ID, and they asked me if I knew the guy, and they said, do you know this person? And I actually knew him.
Yeah.
Which was funny, but then for some reason in my head I was thinking, oh, maybe this is his uncle or his dad, and he's asking me for like a character reference. But no, in fact, he was asking about the person they were trying to catch, and I knew him, and I said it happily. And as soon as I said that, they're like, "Where is he?" And I was like, "Oh, I actually haven't talked to him in like 6 years, because I haven't." And then they didn't believe me even more. And then they asked to search my car and all that good stuff. But anyways, they didn't even apologize, but it's okay. No bitterness.
There is, but
every time I see cop lights behind me, I just get PTSD to the time where I was handcuffed to the back of my car with a spotlight on me, asking me when's the last time I did drugs.
I can picture you very clearly. The officer's like, Sir, do you know Jason Bateman?" "Yes, I do know him." "Yes, I do actually."
Oh, yeah.
He's like, "Get on the ground."
Pistol whips me right out.
What are you talking about?
Oh, jeez. The funniest part, and I'm not trying to throw policemen under the bus right now, but the funniest part was I knew that I wasn't driving recklessly.
Yeah.
But in my head, I know I probably was speeding. I'm not going to sit here and deny that I was probably going 5, 10 over.
Yeah.
But I knew I wasn't going that fast because I know that there's police officers on that road. And it's also it's like the round where I was around this corner. So I knew I wasn't going that fast. But he's like, you know why I pulled you? He's like, you know why I had after he realized I wasn't the person. He's like, well, the first reason I pulled you over was because you kind of went over the yellow line. And I was like, no, I didn't. What? But I didn't, I'm not going to question 4 police officers with their guns almost unholstered. So I was like, oh, yeah, geez, I can't stay in between them, I guess, Geez, I've never been able to color in the lines. Shouldn't have given me a license. But yeah, so every time I get pulled over or anything, I just think, wow, I just don't have good luck with. And that time, I was super calm and collected. That,
I know.
Usually I'd be the type of person that if you were like, can I search your car? I'd be like, no, this is my right. That's who I am.
I know, that is.
But I was thinking man, if I don't let them, they're just gonna bring me down and book me, and I'm gonna, and it was already 10:30. I was like, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I can't be going down to the police station,
When you called me about that, because you called me right after.
Yeah.
The first thing I said, was, Well, what did you do? What did you say to him? Like, how did you provoke him? Because I know that is what would get you in trouble. Your mouth.
Yeah, I was actually very, very nice. But maybe it's because I was outnumbered. I feel like one-on-one, I would talk trash to a cop, unfortunately for myself. But, like, when there's, like, 5 of them or 4 of them with, like, their hands on their guns and you're cuffed and you're on your knees, there's not really room to be intimidating or to talk trash. So, I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, you are the only person that I have ever known with any experience, even remotely like that.
Yeah, it was interesting.
It's about your life.
It was pretty funny, too. After that happened, I was, like, so full of adrenaline. Because you know what? This is going to sound weird.
Yeah. Okay.
But what I would do to be handcuffed again is insane. Like, I would pay for it.
Must really light a fire under you.
It's like I just drank, like, 16 Red Bulls. Or snorted cocaine like they thought I did. Because as soon as they slapped those handcuffs on me, I was like, I'm ready to run. I'm ready to go.
Why didn't you run?
Imagine if you did. There's multiple times in my head where I thought to myself, like, oh, I could, like, when they started to lighten up a little bit, I could be funny and be like, like pretend to run. But then I was like, these guys are so on edge right now that I think they would probably tase me.
Oh my gosh.
And I've already been tased once in my life. I don't need to again.
It's like that meme that's going around where it's like, it's like a guy handcuffed, or a guy and a police officer, and it's like the only thing the civilian can think about is like, grab his gun. And I'm like, that is exactly what happens. You want to do the most outrageous things, and then your brain says not to.
Because I think of video games,
How?
Like, I just feel like video games, like, you always do the crazy thing. Like, there's like, there's this one game I played where, like, it wasn't with a police officer. It was like Assassin's Creed or something like that. But they're like tying you up, and you like hit X at the right time, and you like swipe their hand away and like grab their knife and like cut their knee. Yeah. Like, that's what I think of when they were handcuffing me. I was like, I could do this move and this move and run into the woods. They never find me. But I decided for justice, even though there was no justice served that day.
Yeah, that is like well, I suppose you got off. They didn't just keep you, and you're not in jail right now.
No, I got off. I made bail,
Imagine if you did run. That would have been the funniest thing I ever heard in my entire life, if you ran.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, I thought of, like, joking, and then I thought, like, man, this would be a funnier story if, like, I actually ran and got booked. But then, like, I think that would actually give them a reason to arrest me. Like, in my head, I was like, I could do this, but, like, doesn't that, like, isn't that, like, breaking a law? Or, like, in itself?
That's breaking the law.
Yeah, so that's what but if I didn't know that, I would have done it. Yeah. If I was dumb, I would have been like, this would be funny.
It's the same thing about, like, grabbing the officer's gun. When you start to get pulled over, all you want to do is drive faster. Yeah. And start to get away, but you can't get away.
Yeah. Well, there's a law now that, like, if a police car chase can only last so long.
Then what do they do?
Before they have to stop pursuing you legally.
That's stupid. Why?
Because apparently, like, a bunch of people were dying, and because, like, if you chase a car long enough, like, they're going crazy through a town, and, like, some kid gets hit. So
what are you gonna do? Just stop chasing them? That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, then you have their license number.
They're gonna just run though.
I know, but you could try to get them at a stop, but it's apparently a safety hazard to, like, chase. And it's actually, you can't, another law, this has been there for a while, though. I don't think it's legal to pull over or chase a motorcycle.
Really? That's not surprising, because the motorcycle will always get away.
Yeah, and, like, because if you, like, get too close or you try to, like, stop it, you just kill the guy. Because they're going 80 on a motorcycle, you accidentally bump into them, or they hit their brakes and you hit them or something, and the guy's just dead.
Yeah, they're probably going a lot faster than that, too, in a police chase, but...
Yeah, so I think that's a law. So if you're in a motorcycle, just keep going. Yeah. Don't get the ticket. Just risk your life. Just kidding. Don't do that. Disclosure. Only if you're a professional.
I'm imagining the, like, dumbest criminal after he gets through, like, the 20 minutes of the police chase or whatever, and he like outruns the cops.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh well, I outran him. I guess I'll go home now."
Yeah.
I made
They're
it
waiting.
off. And they're waiting there for him.
You know what I find really funny, and if I ever break the law and they're like, "There's a warrant for my arrest," I think I'll do this. But I really find it funny the memes I see on Facebook of the guys who like the police station will like post on Facebook like looking for this man, but they go on themselves and comment, and they'll be like, "Haha, I'm right here." Or like I saw one the other day that was like, "Hey, I'm just like doing this, and then I'll turn myself in. Like, just give me a day." And it's just like, what?
That would be something you would do, like as a joke, though.
Yeah. I wouldn't turn myself in though.
No.
You know what I would do? Let me tell you.
What would you do?
I'd comment. I'd be like, "All right, I'm turning myself in at 9. Let me just get my affairs together. Like, meet me at this park at like 9 a.m. and you can take me away."
Yeah.
And I'd set up like a GoPro there or something like that. And then I would not show up. And then they'd show up, and then I'd get the footage later, and I'd upload and post it on the Facebook post and be like, "Ha, suckers." And then I would just run to like Canada or something.
Yeah. That is something you would do. Did the person on Facebook the other day that asked about the coyote situation or whatever it was, did they ever get in touch with you?
Oh, no, that was a memory.
Oh. I'm dumb.
Remember that?
Yes, I do, but I thought the same thing happened again.
No, that was a memory. It threw me back. No, they never responded.
Bummer. Well, when you sent me that, I knew you were busy that night. You were at the Celtics game, and
which we need to talk about in a second.
Okay. But there was a Facebook post. Someone was having trouble with their chickens. There was like a coyote eating the chickens, something like that.
Yeah.
And Jacob commented, "Let me know if he comes back. I'll come take care of him." And he sent me this on Friday, this past Friday. And my thought was, how will you go back? Because you're at the Celtics game.
Yeah. No, it was just I was just trying to relive the memory, of laughter with you.
I thought you did it again.
No, I will do it again one day, whenever they post again.
It's Caleb Jody's birthday.
Is it?
Like 2 days ago or tomorrow? It's April 4th, I think. It's April 4th, yeah. Just so you know. So we need to celebrate.
I'll celebrate on Facebook. Anyways, but yeah, that Celtics game.
Yeah, how was that?
Let me tell you, bro. You ever sat in box seats before?
Not an NBA basketball game.
So I have once, because my friend in Charlotte gets them from his work.
Wow.
But they didn't have food or anything because like the owner shut it off during COVID and then never turned it back on to like pay for food. But the seats were sweet, so like literally box suite.
Yeah, I get it.
But anyways, my girlfriend's mom, Jordan's mom, that had the same thing. Her company, her like bosses own a suite, or they get a suite every once in a while,
awesome.
And they like give tickets out for free. So she got 5 free tickets.
Wow, clutch.
And we went to this box suite, bro. Let me tell you, chicken, like fried chicken, grilled chicken, mashed potatoes, sushi.
Dang.
Like all you can eat anything you basically want. Chips, popcorn. They had desserts like cookies and cupcakes with like Celtics things on them. A fridge just full of like soda, high noons, beer, and all free. And then they had like all this liquor where these guys, these like business guys, like old business guys, were like just getting schwasty. But yeah, it was so good, bro. Private bathroom.
Oh, that's
elevator
so nice.
From the parking to the suite, basically. Not like into the suite, but like to the suite floor, where you like barely have to walk or get in the crowds. Like it was just like, I now know how rich people feel at basketball games. Because usually I'm down there in the thick of it. I'm getting cussed at. I'm getting yelled at. This lady just spilled her beer on me and laughed. Like, these are things that happen at a normal TD Garden Celtics game for me. And this time, and then I bought, a hot dog for $9.50 and a soda for $7.50. Whereas I got the ticket for free. I got the food for free. I drank 2 high noons because they're free.
Wow.
I went to the bathroom in peace.
That's so nice.
It was, it was just nice. It was beautiful. And that's how we should all experience basketball from now on.
I've been to a suite once at a Connecticut Tigers game, and that was pretty sweet. So I can't even imagine the Celtics box suite.
Yeah. Let me tell you, when I went to the Hornets one, we walked by Michael Jordan's box.
Oh, did you really?
And there's a guy standing outside of it, probably 6'7", jacked. Maybe not 6'7", but to me it just seems so big. Jack sitting there with his polo that has an Air Jordan symbol on it. And like the door would open because someone would go in and you'd look in there and there was just Air Jordans like in display cases all over the room.
Really?
It was a sweet... He wasn't there, but he must have been like his family or friend or something like that was doing it.
That's so cool.
But it had like a security guard and everything, and I was like, oh man, I wish I could go in there.
I heard he's selling the Hornets, no?
Yeah. Yep, he's looking to sell.
To who?
I don't know. He didn't say it. He just said he's looking to sell, but he made like a ton on that. I think he bought it for like 110 million, and he's selling it for like 1.2 billion.
That's amazing. So is that why? Do you think he wants to buy another team?
No, I think he's always been... He's the greatest player of all time, but I think he is one of the worst GM/owners of all time.
Really? You think so?
His draft picks were awful when he was the head of basketball operations for the Hornets. Like he drafted Michael Kidd-Gilchrist over I forget who the third pick was that year, but there was like he just drafted bust after bust. Yeah, and then like even the last couple ones where he had influence on it, like the only one that he's hit on is LaMelo Ball. And even then he's been injured, so not good. But I think he's done. I don't know. You never know. He never goes on and like talks.
No, you don't hear him publicly at all.
You know why though?
Why?
I think this is why. I think it's because he's already proven everything. Like
He has
why?
nothing to prove.
Like Isaiah Thomas. I don't know if you know not the old Celtics player, but the Pistons player that he talked trash about in his documentary.
Yeah.
He's going on all these podcasts saying like Michael needs to apologize.
I know. Yeah, I've seen that.
He's like just man up, and I just think he hasn't responded because like Michael's like. Why would I lower myself to this level? Like I'm Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? And I think that's like cool.
Well, that's how he's portrayed in The Last Dance too. That's the vibe he gives off.
Yeah. You just look at him and you're like, that's Michael Jordan. Like he's and like usually I'd be like, oh, this guy's cocky or this guy's full of himself. But like with Michael, you're just like, man, like he's Michael Jordan. He's the basketball like guy.
Maybe he's just taking his efforts to NASCAR, where his team's doing pretty well, actually.
Yeah, he might just be... He's a good investor. I mean, obviously, he made a ton of money on the thing, but he just never was good at...
drafting and choosing players and stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't he have a little bit of a role when he was on the Bulls, too? Like, I think they ran things by him. Like, Phil Knight ran things by him, but that's about it.
Yeah, and I forgot the GM's name. The guy, Jerry Krause.
Yep.
He basically... But even though Jerry Krause got wrecked in that documentary, he went on record saying, Michael never asked me for an all-star player. He never asked me. He thought he could do it himself. That's part of, like, the documentary. He's like, Michael never asked me for a star player, never asked me for this, never asked me for that. And he's like, I think he just thought he was so dang good that he could do it himself. And that's just like, that's what makes him the GOAT.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's different.
But, yeah. But anyways, back to crying. Just kidding.
It's like, what do you have next?
No. Did you have anything?
I have just really been thinking about myself a lot lately. There's been a lot of introspection about how paranoid and neurotic I am. For example, you know how every day that we do this, and today I actually didn't do this on purpose. Every day that we record the pod, I press record, I go sit down, and then I get back up to make sure I hit record,
Yeah,
and then I stop
you
and
didn't do
record
that
again.
this time.
Because I'm becoming very aware of how paranoid I am. Every time I reply to an email, so I get a lot of emails at work, and every so often it's a big email about some project or whatever with like 50 or 100 people on it. And there's always that one guy that replies all and is like, "Hey Neil, no thanks, we're not interested right now," or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm like, "Oh, look at this dope.
This
he has
clown.
no idea how to
What an
respond to
idiot.
emails." And then
Punch him
I'm
in the
like,
face.
well, I responded to the same email. I would have no idea if I actually replied all. So, but maybe I'm the idiot. Maybe I replied all. And so I'll go in and check every single time and make sure I didn't reply all. I'll check every email that I send to make sure it goes to the right person. On my way here, I sent, not while I was driving, while I was at a stop sign, I sent a text to someone and I said, like, random names. I'll say, "Hey Bill, just so you know, Jason has this problem," or whatever it was.
Yeah, Bill and Jason from work, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
And I will go back in and check my text to make sure I didn't send that to Jason about Bill. Every time.
Oh,
and
yeah, like send it to the wrong person.
Yeah, like I feel like in my mind that I'm dyslexic or something.
Yeah.
And mix up the names. So I'm just really trying to be less paranoid because 99 times out of 100 I did it right. But there's that one time where I replied all, where I sent the text about Bill to Jason, where it was supposed to go to Bill instead of Jason, all those things.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really trying to make a conscious effort of relaxing because I feel like it severely bogs down my time of being productive because it makes everything take like twice as long.
Yeah. I get like that sometimes only when it's like one time I sent an email to one of my coworkers, let's just say, I don't know, Bill, and about Jason. And I'm just kidding. No, but I sent him it was an email that the customer, with the potential client that we had, and him, but I hit reply.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, this guy is I think I said like this guy is an idiot.
Yep.
He like can't make up his mind or something like that." And I hit send, and I was like, "Oh, geez, did I send that to the customer as well?" And I'll double check. So only when I say something like really bad that I can't. In my head, if I can spin it in a good way, I'll be fine if I sent it because you can't unsend it.
Yeah.
But I always check if it's anything other than that. But I also, I get paranoid. You know how you said you're scared of being, what was it? Dyslexic?
Yes. I feel like I am dyslexic sometimes.
Dude, sometimes I feel like I'm just like really dumb.
Me too. All the time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, are people just being nice to me? Like, did my boss just hire me to am I in a Make-A-Wish right now?
Am I in a Make-A-Wish?
Like, did he hire me just because he felt bad, or like, am I actually good at my job? I just feel like do my friends say like, do people let me do things just because, you know what I mean? Am I dumb?
Yeah, I get that because sometimes I will think like, "Oh, Jess and Jacob are probably talking behind my back about me. They probably text every day, oh, like, Jeff, he's so dumb. Like, how does he not see this or this?" That's how I feel all the time.
Sometimes I feel
like you and I will get done hanging out, and as soon as I walk out the door, you'll text Jess and be like, "LOL, he's so stupid. I can't believe he hasn't caught on," or something.
Sometimes.
How does he make it through the day?
Sometimes I have the thought after I hang out with my girlfriend, I'm like, is she just with me? Because like, it's like the nice thing to do, and like she's just like like when you go with like, I don't know how to put this into words. Like back in high school, you'd like go to a dance with a kid because you felt bad for him, and they like asked you, and you just went for it, and you're like, because whatever.
Yeah.
Or like even like the Make-A-Wish thing, like you think these athletes actually want to like see these kids?
Oh my gosh.
And that's just how I feel. Is like, man, maybe what's wrong with me?
Yeah, I totally get that. I along the lines of being self-conscious, I am also very aware of how I speak now because I feel like I'm developing a lisp.
Lisp?
Yeah, like I'll feel like I can't talk right anymore. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes I just feel like I get a lisp. Do I get a lisp?
No, I don't think so.
You haven't noticed?
I haven't noticed.
Maybe I'm just really self-conscious.
Yeah, I don't know. So I just have these intrusive thoughts sometimes, like
Intrusive thoughts.
that. Like, is this? Then I'm like, is this even real? Like, am I? You know, have you seen the Truman Show before?
Oh, that's such a good movie.
Do you ever get in the sense like I'm in the Truman Show?
All the time.
Like everybody's just faking this, and it's on TV, and everybody's laughing at me. And like that's what I'm saying, like, because sometimes things will just happen. And I'm like, what? You know? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I do try to be extra nice to you.
That's good.
Your mom actually pays me to do this with you every month. She gives me like $200 a month to hang out with you. Sorry.
That's what Deb gives me.
We're a match made in heaven.
But she gives me $200 to be nice to myself. Self-love.
I need that.
That's what
I need that too.
I have a random thought.
Okay.
I was thinking about this the other day, and it sounds pretty dumb, but I just had to share it with you.
Mm-hmm.
A fork.
Okay.
Like the utensil.
Yeah.
Is it called a fork because it's 4 prongs? Fork. You ever thought about that?
Fork.
Like, get it? Like, there's 4 prongs on a fork.
I understood, yes.
And the word fork has the word for in it. It's not spelled F-O-U-R-K, but is that just a coincidence? Is that why it's called a fork?
Well, that was my rebuttal, is I feel like if they were to do that intentionally, they would spell it F-O-U-R-K. Fork.
But maybe that just looked weird and they were like, just go F-O-R-K.
It's basically how the English language works. Nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
Fork. Let's see. 4 prongs, and then the K for the knife, maybe?
Yeah. Oh.
So, like 4 individual little knives.
Oh.
We're cracking the code.
Fork.
That's got to be it.
I bet I could look it up right now.
Fork.
I just thought about that. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, I would look that up. I'm thinking that there's definitely potential in that. But the spoon is so random. That doesn't... Maybe the spoon... No, the spoon was developed before the fork. So maybe... I wonder how it... Chicken before egg type deal. We got the spoon probably. And then what came next? The fork or the knife? Probably the knife. Spoon, knife, fork. I feel like they would have called it like spork, though.
Yeah.
Instead of just a random...
Oh, geez. Is this right?
What do you see here?
It's from the Middle English fork, F-O-R-K-E, meaning digging fork.
Okay.
From Old English force or forca, which is a forked instrument used to torture.
Oof.
And now we use it to eat.
That's tough.
Or from the Proto-West Germanic, forco, or from Latin forca, which is pitchfork or forked steak. But it's uncertain.
Wow.
But it says here that the real meaning of fork is an implement with 2 or more prongs used especially for eating, pitching, or digging. So it could be 2. So maybe that puts a hole in our 2 or more.
I wonder where the word came from, though. So it comes from F-O-R-K-E. Can you say that part again?
Digging fork. Fork with an E. Digging fork from Old English force or forca, meaning forked instrument used to torture.
I wonder where that came from, though. Like, how did they come up with the name for that? Was it random? Like, I could just
look at this.
Go ahead.
We all know that the Chinese use chopsticks to eat, but don't be mistaken. They also invented forks.
No, they didn't.
The oldest known traces of forks are found in the Qi Ha ethnic group, between 2400 BC and 1900 BC, and under the Shai dynasty. Did you know forks were so old?
Are you asking me, or is that what?
That's what it says. But also, did you know that forks are that old?
What was the time frame again? Do you remember? You don't have to look it up.
2400 BC and 1900 BC.
I probably could have guessed that. Yeah, I would say so. I knew that. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
That was a Jeopardy question the other day. Yeah.
Did you? Okay, what does an upside down fork on a plate mean?
Upside down fork on a plate? Like a drawing of it, or like a fork resting on a plate upside down?
Upside.
I have no idea.
If you are talking but haven't finished eating your meal, rest your knife and fork on your plate in an upside down V with the tips of the utensils facing towards each other to indicate that you are still talking and not done with your food.
Like that?
Yes. Yeah, just like that. And also, legend has it that due to the enormous population growth in ancient China, the demand for resources necessitated meals to be prepared quickly without wasting precious fuel. That's why they stopped using the fork, to facilitate quicker cooking to smaller pieces, making the knife or fork unnecessary as dining tool on the table. Interesting.
Not really.
Oh. Yeah, you're right, though. Spoons were first.
Yeah, I could have guessed that. Oh, I did.
Oh, yeah. Actually, technically, the oldest eating utensil is your fingers.
These bad puppies right here.
These bad Larrys. It's like 5 chopsticks on 2 hands.
You ever dug into a lasagna with one of these puppies?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You ever seen Garfield?
Oh yeah, I know Garfield.
Yeah.
That's a boy right there.
Yeah, he's a lasagna fiend. Anyways,
I have a random question.
Oh, what's that?
What is your happy place? Where do you go to relax? What makes you relaxed and happy and able to clear your head? Where would that be? Do you have a couple places that come to mind?
You know, it's a good question. I think one of my happy places is Disney World.
You are always very happy in Disney.
I'm a big Disney guy, and I think it's just because magic fills my veins. You know, like as soon as I walk into Disney, I'm just happy. And it's funny because everybody's like, "Oh, Disney's so expensive." Oh. But like, bro, like I'm a stickler for money, and I'll go there and I'm happy that I spent the couple $100s to get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So that's one of my happy places. But around here, I'd probably say a screened-in porch on a summer night, just sitting there. Because when I used to go outside in the summer when I lived in Putnam, we had that screened-in porch. Do you remember? Mm-hmm. I would sit in my chair out there on a nice summer night on my screened-in porch, and it was just beautiful. During COVID, that whole summer, I would go out there and I'd sit out there all day.
Yeah.
It was just my happy place. You know what I mean? Like, I just loved it. I'd bring my TV out there, watch some TV, eat my meals out there. It was just, I just loved a good screened-in porch.
It's nice to be able to keep the skeeters out.
Yeah, you ever sit in a screened-in porch?
Maybe a time or two.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want out there.
Can you?
Yeah.
Anything?
Anything.
Okay.
Name one thing.
Not appropriate. I'll pass.
Just name one thing.
Push-ups.
You could do push-ups out there. The screen will allow you to do push-ups.
Really?
If it was windows or no screen, no window, probably not.
No push-ups.
Probably not, honestly. Yeah, the screen really enforces you.
I wish you could build fires.
You can.
You can't, though.
No, you can.
Really?
I've done it.
Have you?
Oh, yeah.
Have you actually done it?
Yeah. Build fires all the time in my screening porch. It's not OSHA certified, but...
Yeah, I'm not going to tell your landlords.
Yeah. Well, I don't have one now. It's really sad. I'm actually really sad
And they
about
would
it.
still evict you.
Yeah.
You do have a deck on the back, though.
Yeah, but it's not screened in. It's not the same. I went out there once and I said, "This is stupid," and I went right back inside.
Yeah, I get that.
I
get
hate it.
that.
I miss my screened-in porch.
Well,
The place that we're renting for my birthday has a screened-in porch,
it does. I noticed that.
and that's why we rented it.
I figured. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I figured
And a
that
hot
and the
tub.
fire and hot tub
Yeah.
were your 3 must-haves. So
That's
Big
it right
time.
there.
be a good time.
That's it.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, that's my space. What's yours?
Oh yeah, a little old me. I
So
almost
happy.
forgot.
Yeah, come on.
I have a couple places. I'd say the golf course on a summer night, a warm summer night, not when it starts to get chilly in the fall.
That's like my top 3. I'd say that'd be number 3 for me.
I have a weird one now.
What's that?
I really enjoy and feel at peace in a good coffee shop.
Interesting.
A good coffee shop brings me really just happiness. So yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoy it. I'm productive. Makes me feel at peace.
Good old coffee shop, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it kind of stresses me out.
Really?
Yeah.
Too
'cause
much going on for you?
I just think, like, I'm usually good with that, but I look around and I'm like, oh, this guy's doing some work. Geez, homework over here. What's going on? These people are talking about this, and I'm just like, I can't focus on one thing.
See, that sounds like me, but I don't know. Something about all the noises, the coffee, espresso bean aroma, the people clicking away on the keyboards, the chattering in the background, the baristas laughing and smiling, the opening and closing of the door, the chitter chatter. It brings me at peace. It's good, kind of like white noise to get you focused and really centered.
If you could add one element to a coffee shop, what would it be?
Maybe a TV with some golf on. That'd be about it.
Like a sports bar coffee shop? That'd be pretty sweet.
I thought you were going to ask me if I could take one of those elements to have in my life, like on a daily basis, follow me around. I probably would have said the laughing baristas.
The baristas, yeah.
Just one giggling behind me as I walk to
just
walk
laughing
to
at
my
you.
car. Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, like 5 feet behind me, just giggling.
Yeah.
I could get used to that.
Get in their car, follow you home.
All right, let's take this one home. We are How We Met My Brother. Please follow us, rate us, and subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Throw us a like and a follow on Instagram and TikTok at How I Met My Brother Pod.
Yeah. And real quick, what grinds my gears is...
Oh, sorry. Premature.
No. This is about what you said.
Okay. Uh-oh.
It grinds my gears when people respond to my messages and laugh and say, oh, your podcast clips are so funny, but you don't like them, Maybe not grinds my gears. Maybe just makes me a little sad.
I would agree with that.
So, like, maybe guys just give the post a like, send it a heart, comment like, ha, 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 very funny, guys. I'll enjoy that, and it'll make me happy, so...
That would be nice, because when I get one with two likes, it kind of hurts my self-esteem and my confidence in my abilities. So if you do like and comment on our posts, it really helps my mental health. So look at it that way.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
If you want me to love myself, like the post.
Like it. Actually, don't even wait. Do it right now. We'll wait.
All of them.
We'll wait right here.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, cool. Yeah.